Hi, this is Zak Mir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zak's Traders Cafe for Thursday, the 24th of July. And starting off with the FTSE 100, which is flying at the moment. The government doesn't seem to be taking credit for it either, which is even more interesting. They should be shouting from the rooftops. At least something's going right. But we have a red rising trend channel there from May. That's acceleration from the top of the 1 year price channel, the green one there, 90.40. Above 90.40, we've been looking for as high as 92.40 by the end of August. It looks as though the market's might even be ready to give us that by the end of July. But 92.40 by the end of August, while we're above 90.40 is the call here. Worst case is that we've got to go and retest the old June resistance and the floor of the May channel, 89.10. But at the moment, obviously, it looks as though we're heading in the positive direction. Moving on to the DAX, and here we've gapped up as we should have gapped up. It's given us a second. It's the fourth RSI 50 rebound that we've had in the last month. So probably the market rather flailing compared to that excellent signal. Top of the channel here from last year up to 25,200. We're looking for that. We were looking for that by the end of this month, but probably we'll have to wait for the end of next month to get that particular number. Upside value while we hold above 23,900 on the 50-day line. Worst case is a test of March resistance at 23,500. Moving on to the Dow, and here the market has been in a 44,000 to 45,000 range. We've been in this flag formation, which has broken quite spectacularly yesterday. The top of the flag there, 44,600. Above that, we're looking for the top of that rising trend channel from back in May last year, 47,400. We were looking for that by the end of next month, and I suppose while we're above 44,000, that's where we're thinking this market is going. Ideally, we stay above 44,600. Moving on to Bitcoin, which has been in consolidation mode. Here you can see that we are in that steeper rising trend channel, the red one there from back in April. And if one decomplicates the chart, you can see that we are hopefully heading through the top of that rising trend channel from back in March last year. 128,000 is now the top of that channel, but that's only valid while we're above recent support and the floor of the April channel there at April 2025 channel there at 115. Above that is where we're looking for 128 and then up to as high as 144,000 by the end of next month. On the downside, there still might need to be a test of the old May resistance at 112, and even as a worst case scenario, the 50-day line, 110,000. But at the moment, just clinging on to the floor of that channel. On to Ethereum, which I think has also pulled back to the towards the top of the old rising trend channel from March. 3480, the number there. While we're above that, we're still looking for the top of the upper parallel of that rising trend channel. February resistance line as high as 4,300 by the end of next month. But obviously 3480 needs to remain in place. Moving along to the situation at gold, and here this has been looking quite good this week, although we have failed at the April resistance line 3430, which is slightly disappointing. The top of the channel here up to 3800, which we are looking for by the end of next month, while if we can stay above 3430. Ideally now there's no test for support lower than the April rising trend channel floor at 3300, just below the 50-day line 3335. Moving on to the stocks, and starting off with Avacta, where having paid some of its debts a few days ago, the shares are starting to look quite good. We've got an RSI 50 rebound. We've got a rising 50-day moving average off the low. And we've had, so far, 4 consecutive blue candles, which is obviously always very pleasant. Does suggest that we could head up to the top of that broadening triangle from December as high as 45 pence by the end of next month or even sooner, while we're above the initial July resistance at 34 pence. So for a change, actually, it looks as though this particular oil tanker is starting to turn around in a positive direction, with the RSI 50 rebound being a special thing there. On to Boku, which I wrote about a few weeks ago, is a potential M&A situation. Here we've had a decent consolidation within a rising trend channel, which has been in place since the spring of last year. Top of the channel there, 227. We're looking for that while we're above the latest gap for the shares at 208. Obviously, we're looking for a bit more than that as well. The other point to note is that we've had several RSI 50 rebounds since the end of April, probably 4 or 5 at least, a couple in the last month. And that is, or does suggest that we're looking at a strong picture, 227 being the minimum on the upside. On to Cloudbreak, and here the situation is that we've been in recovery mode, or trying to be in recovery mode. We've got a rising trend channel base there. Top of the channel there, 0.28. We're looking for that perhaps by the end of next month, but obviously the trigger here would be an end of day close above the 50-day line at 0.18 pence. On to Genflow, which has been ramping up the news flow in the recent past. Here we're seeing good consolidation above the 50-day line at 0.78. 0.79 rather, and above that we're looking for 1.4 pence by the end of next month, which is the top of that falling trend channel from back in April or May last year. Bullish divergence as well. All that's missing, I suppose, at the moment is for the 50-day line to start rising, which if you look closely, it probably already is. Moving on to ITV, which I don't normally look at because it's normally rubbish, but we've got a potential breakout here. Basically, the FTSE is going to new highs. Even ITV might try a breakout as well. Rising trend channel there from July last year. Top of the channel there, 102. Difficult to work out what might do that, given the stock tends to be in a 10 pence range, but above 85 pence, maybe on a weekly close basis, 100 pence plus could be on queue for the end of next month. Mkango is next, and here, as I said in the RNS hot list today, every RNS seems to be a lap of honour for the company. Recent support, or the latest support, at 30 pence. Above that, we're looking for 45 pence by the end of next month, which is a March resistance line projection. On to the last two, and the first one is Manx Financial, which has had some great RNSs in the recent past. The initial target here was 25 pence, which has obviously been hit a couple of times. The next target, maybe by the end of next month, 35 pence. The late 2022 resistance line projection, and the upside bound while we hold above the 50-day line at 22 pence. Finishing off with Nativo, which has announced a Bitcoin or digital treasury strategy, which is amazing, really, given that it's about 2 months late. But here we have had the shares bumping along on the bottom. 9% rise as opposed to sort of 50 or 100%, which we would have got if we did announce that last month. Near-term resistance towards 0.57. Probably the realistic best case scenario at the moment is to hit the 50-day line, 0.4 pence, while we don't make any fresh lows below 0.25. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.